Hi, everybody. This is Lori Gabriel. I'm a screenwriter, a film director. I edited a little bit, and various other crew positions.
My name is Carell, and I have edited, I have directed, I have co-written, and I also produce music.
Today, we're going to talk about Wednesday. We're going to talk about episodes 3 and 4. And so we've already done the opening scene. So we're just gonna. What I'd like to ask Carell, when you were watching the scenes with Goody and she's in Crackston's barn, before that happens and after and during, as an editor, how do you see that? What do you think the editor had in mind with that? Why did he choose those particular shots?
For starters, they start outside of the barn, and that's when we really get to see Goody and get to learn a little more about her. We see her outside, you see the crowd, everybody surrounding her. It's basically like what do they call that? Like a Salem witch trial. That it kind of had that vibe to it. It was very intense. You know, you had the fire burning. You could definitely see the fear in her face. They kind of kept everything pretty close with those shots. Close-ups with her, close-ups with Crackston, a lot of back and forth between those two characters, you know, basically illustrating that these two, there was something going on between these two, that they were the main focus of that shot. But I thought they did pretty well how it was edited. It was, like I said, it was a lot of close-up shots. It was very tense. It moved pretty quickly, just to, I guess, to intensify the emotion of the scene. They did a really good job at showing the fear in everyone that was in that room and hopelessness. Even the fire when it first started burning, come back out to the outside shot and you see them light the barn on fire. That you can almost feel the heat.
So I guess like what I was thinking more of, like, so if I was editing this, I think they did an amazing job. The sequence was really quickly paced. It showed you enough information in each scene to show the emotion behind what was happening, the fear that she had, and also how the righteousness of the people that were trying to burn her, how they all followed Crackston. All those shots were very tight and very short, but it still gave a lot of information about what was happening. And it was, I think those intercuts really made the pacing quicken, so the suspense was followed that, and it made it so that you're kind of on the edge of your seat, waiting to see what happens, even though it's pretty clear what's going to happen to her. And I think that buildup of like, and then they slowed it down when she's in the barn with her mom, so you could see just how like that wasn't cut. So it was just like kind of not necessarily a long shot, but it wasn't cut quite as quickly or like as not as much of a jolt. So you could see the emotion and the expression on their faces. So I do agree with you that it was really shot well. So okay, so and then. Is there anything about Goody's, the actress, that you think could have elicited more information to Wednesday as a director? Like anything in that, like how that actress how you would see if you were the director, how you would see her scenes play out?
I'm not sure I would really have changed too much in that scene, just for the simple fact that, like you were saying, it was to raise the curiosity for Wednesday, but to not necessarily not to give too much away. But I think I think they gave enough to change the level of commitment for Wednesday, basically. Okay. Because I think there was one other time before that scene where she sees Biddy, but it's just like a glimpse, it's just a moment. So it's this time when she actually gets to almost interact with Biddy, you know, because Wednesday is in that barn too. She's watching Biddy. She's watching this conversation, you know, so she's right there. Like, I'm sure, like said about the heat, like I'm sure she could smell the smoke, you know, like it was that, like she was there. It almost felt that way. I think they really showed that really well.
Yeah, and I think the actress did an amazing job. I think isn't it Wednesday that plays both characters? Like she plays,
Yeah, yeah, she's
yeah.
Goody. Yeah,
I think that's clever to make her like to look like exactly to be the same actress, so that you instantly like feel a sense that Wednesday that they're familiar, that they're a family. Yeah,
yes. I think what's kind of cool is how they make them different. You know, Wednesday's always wearing black, her hair is black, but Goody is more like a blondish color hair, and she's wearing. I mean, it's a dirty white because she's been like thrown around, but she's wearing white, you know. So like, I thought it was really cool how they make them opposites in that way. But you know,
yeah. So I think like for me, like as a director, what I'm looking for in the in any of the characters is that can they know what they do, they understand the motivation behind what the character does, do they understand the reasoning, and being able to, I think that helps bring out like, and then letting that actress or actor use their own spin on that character, be creative with how they interpret that character's motivations and desires and really like their actions, and let them play with that so that they feel that they own that character's personality.
the timing of how they did that with this episode, it's really cool because just like what you said, they give the motivation and the reasoning behind what Goody eventually does before Wednesday knows what Goody does. You know what I'm saying? She knows something happened, but she doesn't know what happened. And she's seeing how Goody was treated and how her people were treated. But she doesn't, so she still does not know who Goody is. You know, it's like, this is my ancestor. Apparently she's a witch. Apparently she must have did something for all these people to judge her this way. But I don't know what she did, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I think like I was, and so, and also the actress is like she knows all the information that because she's read the script, so she knows that who Goody is by this point. Or
Mm-hmm.
I know some actresses don't get scripts ahead of time; they just get the script that they're sent. But I suspect, I don't know this for sure, but I suspect that she learned what Goody did, what was so bad that she was burned at a stake. I'm pretty sure it really had to do with that Crackston didn't like anybody that opposed him. And that was the reason he decided to burn her and her whole family. I don't think it was
Mm-hmm.
anything that they did that was like so terrible that they need to be burned. I think it was just he wanted to be, he doesn't, not to give a spoiler, but down the line, you'll see a little bit more about Crackston and who he is. And you'll come to understand that he's just a horrible person, and he really just he wants everyone to obey him, and he's not really into women. He doesn't like them, so he thinks they're inferior. So his personality is really just horrible, and he's mean, and so it's hard to like. It's actually easy to understand why he would think that Goody, who's probably a lot like Wednesday and very independent and does her own
Right.
thing, why he that would be a threat to him. So I think
Yeah.
that was more of why he chose to burn the whole family.
Goody being the connection was a perfect choice because of the fact that Wednesday it's parallel because with Wednesday she's coming into a town where everyone hates outcasts, and these towns are descendants of Crackston who hates outcasts. So that's why Wednesday was the perfect person, you know, to take on this mystery, and also why Goody reaches out to her because it's basically like this is what I went through, and now you're going through it in a different time. You know, and this guy, you know, he's the father of all these people that are basically doing the same thing to you now.
Yeah, there
So,
is good parallel, and the writing is really excellent in doing that. Like what's currently happening in Wednesday's life mirrors a lot of what happened in Goody's life. Like a
mm-hmm,
bunch of people that don't like her because she's an outcast and because she's very sarcastic and moody and she doesn't like people and she doesn't want to be a joiner. And so people in the school or the other students don't really want to be around her because of her behavior and her attitude and her feelings about them. And the
yeah,
same thing can be about Goody. Like, and I suspect her family is like they're considered outcasts. They're considered people that don't obey the rules and don't follow the leader. And so that mirroring of the two families and also the other townsfolk that are considered witches, they probably have the same kind of similar attitude about not wanting to do things to kiss the guy's hand and the Crackston's hand and just go along and just be like subservient to men. And I think that's a really good play on what's currently happening with Wednesday in her school at Nevermore.
Big thanks to everyone for tuning in, and please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Have a good day.